Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Again, today is Wednesday, September 25th, 2019. Oh my God, I'm so excited to have Barbara Vance on the show. She is an icon in the real estate world and our community. She does so much. Look how pretty she is. Hey Dorothy, what's up? Oh my God, Dorothy Boylan's on. Give us a thumbs up and a heart. Let us know you can hear us and see us. You're not gonna wanna miss this. We are at the beautiful Citrus Club today. They've got an expo going on, which is what all of this is behind us. Business Expo, but Beth's on. Hey Beth, tell Steve I said hi. Mike Cross is on. We love you guys. All right, we got a thumbs up. That's always what I want to wait for because I don't want you to start talking before I know they can hear you. So welcome to the show. You look beautiful. Love the hair, the whole look. We were talking about we talked about everything before. That's why I love to do the 30 minutes prior. Yes. Happy Wednesday, Ellen.
Thank you.
All right, so tell us a little bit about you. That's where we always like to start. A little origin story, a little bit about Barbara. I always joke you weren't born and then at 3 years old you had a real estate Barbie. You had some other stuff going on, and then we want to talk about how you got to the place you're at. So welcome.
Thank you. Where to start?
Tell us.
Grew up in New Jersey.
Me too. Where are you from?
East Brunswick, New Jersey.
All right, so I know East Brunswick. I was born in Bergen County. Is that Bergen County or
north? No, it's way north. East Brunswick is down by Rutgers University.
Yes.
So I grew up in East Brunswick, and I was very fortunate to go to a school district that was incredibly, open and open-minded. It was a wonderful education that we had in East Brunswick. And I went on to college and decided to do something that a lot of my friends weren't doing, is I got married right out of college.
I wasn't sure where you were going with that, but I was excited to hear the
Yes, I got married right out of college because I thought, you know what? You can start your career and do this whole career thing, and then you have to interrupt it, have children, then you're on the mommy track thing.
Right.
And then, so I said, you know what? I'm going to do this now. I'm young.
So what was your college path? What did you study?
Oh gosh, with everybody else, it's worth a dime. It's called a psychology degree, BA in psychology.
That's why you know the insides and outsides of people so well, right?
You know, people take psychology because they want, because they are in search of that.
Correct.
I don't know if the coursework actually teaches you, but it's because of your desire to find it that you do find it.
Absolutely.
You know.
And so you got married. Did you continue on? Did you become a psychologist?
No. What I did is I just made babies. I had two right away, and then we got a transfer from the New York area down to Orlando in 1984.
Nice. What was that like?
And
did you know anyone here?
No, I knew nobody.
Wow. And
a lot of people were being transferred from New York, so there was a whole group of us New Yorkers coming down, which was sort of cool. And we bought a house right away, and I had a realtor that was referred to me by my realtor up north, and she took us to the new homes. And then I sat down with the new home builder that I was going to buy a home from, and they gave us all kinds of promises. The home was already under construction. They said, we will have it by February 28th, no problem, blah, blah, blah. I read the contract line for line for line, and it says they have 2 years to deliver. Everybody knows who's a realtor, sees that contract, that part in there. And I went,
but you didn't know because you weren't a realtor then.
Right. I said, what's this? And they explained, oh, but don't worry about it. We're going to get the house for you on time. I said, really? I'm from New York, okay? So
I'm not putting up with this insanity.
Right. So right there then, I just said, okay, we need to add some wording. And they said, what do you want to add? I said, I want to add in that I will give you a 30-day grace period beyond the February 28th. And then starting on April 1st, that you're going to give us a per diem of $50 a day, which was very reasonable. Because back then, hotel rooms were like $29. So I wanted $50 a day to cover what our out-of-pocket expenses.
So talk about, hey Rusty, what's up, buddy? So you were trying to protect. You're vetting against. You're seeing the worst case scenario and going, I want to make sure my family is protected.
Exactly.
It is not coffee, tea, or water. Nice question. I'm answering you. You wanted to protect. You wanted to make sure that you were in good shape if they couldn't deliver, which is really not being a realtor. Most consumers, borrowers, don't know to do that.
So anyway, I just did that, and they went to, the guy picked up the paperwork, went to the owner, and the owner fell off his chair laughing and said, okay, she's from New York, I'm from New York, the builder was from New York, and he says, I haven't seen a performance clause, that's what it's called, a performance clause, since I left New York City. He says, okay. He said, offer her $10 a day. So they came back to me and offered $10. I said, look. And I just looked at my
You
husband.
can't feed your family on $10
I said,
a day.
We got up from the table and started to walk away. He went, wait. He went back and said, because she's leaving. He says, okay, tell her $50 a day, that's fine, we'll do it. We'll do it.
Nice.
And so the manager came back and he says, okay, we're doing this for you, it's fine. He says, but I want to ask you a question. I said, what? I said, are you an attorney? And I said, no. I said, but you think I'm pretty smart? How about giving me a job?
Nice. You
And
went right there.
I was there. I closed. So then so he says, you're hired. He says, I'll even put you through real estate school. You mean you'd come work for me? I went, yeah, let's do this. So I needed a job.
So you had a gift at this. You had a negotiation gift. Hey, Wendy. You had a negotiation gift early on, which is so important. We were talking earlier about how, and I want to get more history, about how we're not salespeople, we're connectors, but you also have to have somewhat of a gift for negotiation, even on the connection side.
Right.
So you get into real estate and then you find this is it. This is what you've done all this time.
I was 25 years old.
25. So that was 5-6 years ago.
Thank you.
Try.
And I know. But it was 1984, you can do the math. So I was 25 years old and I went to real estate school. In those days it wasn't online. I drove up to Altamont Springs and we hung out at the Why Not Lounge afterwards.
I love the Why Not Lounge. It's so bad that's gone.
That's gone. It was great.
You guys should
So it was
Google
like,
that.
You're right, Why Not Lounge. So then I passed my real estate test and I went to go work. And I worked for that builder for quite some time. And then I had a mishap. Something terrible happened. My husband was diagnosed with cancer, stage 4, melanoma.
Ugh.
No, he survived.
Oh, he
That's
did?
the one I divorced later. So
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
so
We got a
anyway.
different one going
Yes,
on.
yes,
I got you.
So anyway.
I'm happy he survived.
Yeah, he did survive. But I could not work new home development anymore because I needed to be, he was helping with the kids on the weekends and now he was sick. So I had to find another job.
You had to have flexibility. So, because when you work for a new home, you guys, any real estate agent knows this, but when you work for no new home, you're in there 24/7 on the weekend. There's really no flexibility. You have to be in the model. You have to 100% be there present. So when you have kids and you've got a husband who's sick or a spouse who's sick, you want some flexibility. So you want to be a realtor who says, all right, I'll show the house at 2, but I've got the rest of the day. Or I'll show the house at 2 on Sunday and I have the rest of the day. You can't have that with a builder.
Well, I didn't directly do that, but that's what I ended up doing. I went and got a 40-hour-week job.
What'd you do?
I worked for an ice company, believe it or not, Atlantic Ice Company.
I remember Atlantic Ice Company.
And I was in their distribution.
How did that work? How do you go from real estate and negotiation
I hated it.
you must have hated every second of
I
it.
hated every second of it. And the funny thing is, I'm going to tell you some other thing. I'll drop some names. So what happened is he was working still because he was sick, but he was working, but he couldn't be there for the weekends. I was working, and I had 2 little kids at home. I go, okay, now I need a nanny. So I put in, someone told me to write an ad in the Chicago Tribune that the very best nannies in the whole world will be the oldest daughter of a large Catholic family. And if you just advertise in the Chicago Tribune, you'll find one.
Did you really find one on that?
Yes, I did.
No way.
And
Listen,
the
that's
woman,
the power of the newspaper back then, guys.
And okay, so who we hired,
Tell me.
I wrote an 800 number, and I gave them a call collect. In those days, we could call collect. I said, right, call this number, call collect. I got a voice on the phone who still talks just this way. She has a laughter in her voice. She's the most upbeat, wonderful woman I have known, one of the most wonderful women I've ever known in my entire life. She was 19 years old, and she needed a job, and she loved the idea of moving to Florida. And it was Trisha Rohr who became Trisha Rosen.
Nice. Oh my God, what a small world. That's amazing.
So I had the absolute honor of having her help me with my children. She's
beautiful?
amazing. She went on, she met Harris, she got married to Harris. She had 4 kids of her own. Her 4th child was born at the same time as my 3rd child, because I had another one after that, 13-year
So you have
lapse.
3. You have 3.
3 sons.
Wow.
So I have my oldest is 39. Hi, Marty, if you're watching.
Hi, Marty.
39, 38. Seth. And my youngest, who is 24, and his name is Alex. So,
Hi, Alex and Seth.
And Alex is Alex Vance. See? So it was
so we
another
got it.
husband. Right?
That's amazing. Isn't that, so Orlando's really a small town, right? So when people come in, I never, like, I wouldn't normally say anything bad about anyone anytime, but when I sit down with people and they say stuff, I'm like, you don't understand, that's her sister across the way, or that she knows that person, and you can't stop them once they're into it. So lesson is, don't speak. Do not say stuff unless you know you're in your very personal space, because I guarantee you someone at that table knows who you're talking about. It's a real bad thing. So how did you get to, so I love this topic, right? So you have Vance Realty, now you have Briggs. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so
Because I want to get to best practices
I'm
mainly.
going to get there.
Because I love this topic.
Okay, so, well, and that's intertwined with what I did with Vance Realty. So Vance Realty was opened in 1996. I was, my youngest was 2 years old, and I had my second marriage falling apart. So I was a two-time loser. That's what I call myself.
Two-time?
That's
horrible.
So it is horrible, but it is what it is. So I picked badly, or I wasn't a very good wife, whatever it was, maybe a combination of both. But I had 2 divorces and had my 2-year-old, and I said, I got to start my own real estate company. Isn't that fun? Oh, you're divorced and you have a 2-year-old, and,
Wow, this
and
is the
that
time.
means it's time to
Now
start
it's
a
time
real
for
estate
you to
company.
be the
But
real
that's
estate company.
that's only in Barbara's world, and that's what I do. So I kind of, my mother, bless her heart, June Stern, she always told me, if the whole world is zigging, you go zagging.
Nice.
And that was a good.
June's smart.
My mother's 92 years old, still smart. She
God
runs the place.
bless
where
her,
she lives.
90s.
So yeah, I'm a chip off the old block. So anyway, regardless, I started a real estate company, and hired only a few at a time, and mentored. And that is probably the most joyful part of my ownership of this company.
Isn't that awesome?
I hired people that were sometimes my clients. I would sell them a home, and I go, do you think you might want a job difference? Do you like what
Kind
you're
of
doing?
like the builder did for you, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I said to him, I said to men and women both, I said, if you want to do this, you can recreate yourself. A lot of times there were 40 to 50-year-old people, and they said, you can recreate yourself and have freedom, and more freedom, more flexibility. Realtor's free? No. But I mean, if we want to call in sick, we can, when no one's gonna,
Yeah.
you have more flexibility. You work hours, anyway. So I got into that, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And every agent that I launched, and the way I did it was they went with me and learned my brand of real estate. And now I'm going to get into the best practices, because I'm zigging when the world is zagging, because I did not want to hire realtors that already had preconceived notions and bad habits. So I liked people who had been teachers, or I had ex-lawyers, I had ex-bankers, nurses.
What was the thought? I mean, I know the thought process, but explain it to them, because I used to do the same thing on the insurance side. I didn't want to hire somebody who worked for another insurance agent. I would prefer to hire somebody right out the gate that had the personality and the drive, and I could train them the way that I needed them to be trained. So they understood the TED method. We joked about that in the office. It's probably the Barbara method.
Personality,
personality.
drive, integrity,
Yeah.
and business acumen.
So so that must be difficult because in both our industries, we tend to, it's like this interesting cannibalizing, because somebody makes a jump from a mortgage company to the next mortgage company, or to a real estate company to the next real estate company. And so we're all moving around, but you're right, we have this baggage, we have this idea of how things should be done, and then to try to acclimate to the Barbara Vance way of doing things, that can be a challenge. So to get fresh blood.
I needed to teach them. I didn't want them to come to say, but. I always use this.
That's good.
So the first thing I did is we focus on the idea that the real estate company owners, that our clients, we're not the customers out there. Our first client was the agents working with us.
I like it.
They were my client.
Right.
Because I wanted to make leveraged income off of them.
Yeah.
I had to give them something in return, which was training, guidance, coaching, whatever it took. And so each one of them, I would have a real good conversation, get to know them. And a lot of times they might have an interest. One woman had an interest in horses. I said, fine, we're going to develop a niche for you. I'm going to help you develop a business
smart.
around horse farms.
I love that.
See, the realtors that come into the business today, they go, well, I can sell an Oviedo, and I can sell in Windermere, and I can do this, I can do this, like this. And you know what? You're giving nobody good service. Trust me, you cannot give good service if you're driving all over town all the time. You
I
can't.
actually don't know how. I know it's easier because of social media, but I feel like we used to have the specialization, like the area, the neighborhood. You became the specialist in that. And now that you're all over the place, I agree. I think it must be very difficult. I don't know anybody who's loving showing a house in Oviedo and then listing another house in Kissimmee. I think that has got to be a challenge.
And the only way to do it is to do something that is against Barbara's rules of real estate. So
There's a Barbara's Rules of Real Estate?
I
can't wait to hear those.
Yes, that's a book. That's a book. It's a book that
It should be a book.
It's going to be a book, and it's full of jokes and fun and all kinds
Why
of
did you pick best practices as the title? Because as a guest, you get to pick anything you want. That's obviously important to you.
It's very important to me because I want to give back to this industry, because our industry is being replaced by bots, by salaried clerical types that are being hired by some of the big companies. I'm not going to mention who they are. You know who they are. And then the big, giant internet sites that take up the first half of Google page. So your SEO is worthless. If you're spending money on SEO, unless you're getting above the fold, save your money and find another way to spend your money.
Just a different way to do it.
Right.
Rose Kemp is sending you tons of love, by the way.
I love Rose. Hi, Rose.
She's amazing.
She is amazing. So, amen. Yes, thank you. So, what I want to tell people is this: I work with every agent that came with me, and I developed a business that they would love, not that I would love, that they would love. The golden rule is do unto others as you want done unto you.
Right.
But that's not the rule I follow. The rule I follow is the platinum rule, and this is a credit to Terry Ferrara, who was my first mentor in sales. And Terry Ferrara taught me that the platinum rule was so much better. And the platinum rule is do unto others as they want done unto them. So.
Oh my God, I've never heard that, but that's exactly right. Why would you want to do what you want when you're trying to develop and embrace people at their point? That's important.
Yes.
Otherwise, you can shove it down their throats all you want, but if it's not what they want, it's going to be a disaster.
Exactly. So
oh my God, that's awesome. The platinum.
Thank you. And that's Terry Ferrara. Okay, so she's an amazing person. I hope she sees this someday. So anyway, she told me when she met me that I was an unconscious competent, and that with her training, that I would become a conscious competent. Nice. That means I can practice real estate and salesmanship very surgically, if you can think about that.
Sure.
So words matter. I think about the words I'm going to use about 10 words ahead, because I have to think, how is that person going to accept those words? And like I said, you have to approach them the way they want to be approached. So if I'm working with an engineer, everybody knows, okay, the iconic engineer. You hear me talking fast and I use my hands and all that. The barber talking with an engineer is not like that.
Well, because you're adapting to what your audience is, and I think a lot of people miss that. They want to impart what they want to do, and they don't want to listen to what their audience, who they're really, because this is your consumer, your customer, borrower, seller, whatever you're working on. That's the person that you should be listening to, but we don't listen very well.
No. And the thing is listening, you can listen your way right into a sale, folks, okay? That's what you have to do.
So true.
Ask open-ended questions and let them talk. And when they pause, and if you need to hear more, say, tell me more about that. And they'll open their hearts up to you. And you want to know what? If they tell you everything, realtors aren't salespeople, we're problem solvers. And so we're going to find out, okay, you've got this mess, you want this. This is what we're going to do to help you. And guess what? If you listen to your clients, you will become a millionaire. You will. It's not that hard. You just listen.
So what's the part, I want to know, because I mentioned it in the post. I'm involved in, and I know you are too, there's a million mastermind groups, there's real estate groups, social media is really good. It depends on how you utilize it, but it can be very good. And you learn a lot, but I love the real estate ones especially, because when the stuff that I see that goes on in the industry, and you're like, where did you get your license from? Or how are you doing business? because they're not following any realm of best practices whatsoever. They don't even know how to post on MLS. They don't know how to interact with another real estate agent. They're not doing their clients a good service. I mean, I can't tell you how many conversations over the years I've had with real estate agents especially, where they are like, I can't believe the other realtor. Hey, Dan Wallace.
Hi, Dan.
We love Dan.
I know Dan.
He's awesome. I can't believe the other real estate agent is doing X, Y, Z. And when I look at it, I go, I can't either. So why aren't people knowing that now? Are we failing as an industry to educate them? Are the brokers not giving them the tools that they need? What's going on? And then let's talk a little bit about some 101 best practices that we can educate some people on.
Well,
we're not talking about you, I promise.
You're talking about the degradation of the real estate industry.
Absolutely.
That's what you're talking about. And there's so many factors that are going into it. Number one, we're being attacked from outside.
Yes.
And so some really talented people are leaving the business. Okay? That's one thing. They're seeing the light. They're seeing what's going to happen. So what happened to the travel agency business happened so fast because everybody booking a ticket is a one-day thing. You get in, you get out, you book your tickets, you're done. Or you're
Right.
booking your thing.
Right.
Real estate's a 30-day process, 45-day process or longer. And so we have not been replaced yet. We are going to be replaced if you do not set yourself apart. If you do not distinguish yourself, you will be extinguished.
Oh, I like that. Say it again.
That.
If you don't distinguish yourself, you're going to be extinguished.
Right,
That should be a hashtag.
Right, it should be, because I will tell you that if a salaried clerical person can perform the services that you are doing, then the customers will go to them and pay them far less than what you want to be paid.
Absolutely.
I'm not talking about numbers here, that's against the law, but we're talking about being independent contractors versus employees of large companies, and I'll name Zillow for one of them, okay?
Right.
So how do you survive this? There are travel agents I know that survived, and those that survived had very specific businesses, like expeditions to India, climb the Alps, something very unique that you can't get online unless you go through. There's an amazing company that does trips to Italy that everybody raves about, that they are the best. Just, you don't book any other way. You want to go to Italy, you go through this group, and they just are amazing. And I won't name names, but this is how you distinguish yourself. So out of all the travel agents in the world, probably only 10% survive. And I expect that will be the same with real estate. So do you want to be part of that 10%? Then you have to start doing some things. And I'm sound arrogant here, but you're going to start having to do things the way I do it, which means you're going to have to relate to your clients.
I love it.
You have to get deep with them. You have to find out their why and react to it and help them. You have to give of yourself. You have to give of your heart and your soul to them, because they're selling their homes. This is an emotional sale.
Yes.
So guess what? I don't put a multi-lock on a house. I'm sorry, folks. I haven't done it for years. I was really, really the only one doing it for a long time. I don't put multi-locks on a house. Why? Because that means that somebody is walking into a home, possibly it's dark, maybe something's out of space, maybe there's a cockroach with its legs up like this. I mean, I'm telling you that all of our people get to our appointments beforehand. We turn on all the lights, we turn on some music if we can. If there's some kind of bug, I do people's dishes, I'll throw a bedspread over a bed. I'll do whatever it takes, because you know what? Those people are paying me a lot of money to pay I am not above making somebody's bed, okay?
I love that. There's humility that I think we're missing, right?
We are providing a service. The word service has the same root word as servant.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, thank you.
That's good too.
So I just want to let you know, we are getting paid big dollars. If we want to continue getting paid big dollars, then we have to think about the client. We have to cover them on a multitude of ways. So
Why do you think people don't hate Carmen, by the way? We love you, Carmen Aridas.
hi, Carmen. I love you too.
We love her.
These are
back?
my old friends,
I know,
Rose
people
Camp. I
tune
just
in
love it.
like they love it. So do you think that people don't know how to do it, or have they been trained that it's not important?
Well, glad you brought this up. Do you know those Facebook groups that you talk about, right?
my God.
And I'm on this Real Closers, and somebody gives an answer, and someone says, "Well, screw them. Like, so if they don't do the, it's like this cavalier, like, you know what? There's thousands of realtors that can replace you. Okay?
Cavalier is an amazing word that describes this.
That's
I agree.
correct.
Yeah.
Hubris, cavalier, whatever.
Yes.
You know.
Agreed.
I tell you what. So my best practices is no multi-lock. Guess what else? No voicemail. At all costs, avoid it. Well, how do you feel when you call up somebody that you're paying a lot of money, you get their voicemail?
I agree.
So I do teach my people that my voicemail says that I'm probably out, and would they please text me, and I will respond right away. And so I've trained my clientele
Let me tell
that
them,
if they
come
want,
on in, we're running behind, so come in and do your stuff.
Okay.
Which is fine.
We're having fun here.
We're having fun.
So, but yeah, so I have, so where was I? Lost my train.
No, you're talking about how you train people.
Yeah, but I was talking about the,
You train people how to
right. Oh, I
come
train
in.
people how to talk to me.
Yes.
No, with the text.
You're giving them, yes,
Thank
instead
you.
of the voicemail.
Well,
look, you go, my first agent, Barbara Vance, that's Cleberto Copetti.
Oh, I
We
love
him.
Roberto. I sold him his house. How many of my clients have become realtors?
that
You know
awesome?
why? Because I made it look like fun. I can't tell you how many of them say I went into real estate.
Look
because
how
you
he's
did
gone
it.
on to do amazing things with
Cleberto
Global
is
Counsel.
wonderful,
And,
right.
I mean, he's an awesome,
I love
awesome
that all my
guy.
friends are fun, are saying
Of
hello
course, they're
today.
going to want to hear what you have
Thank
to
you.
say.
But I've been doing this for 35 years and I still love this business. So I'm lucky that I found it when I was 25. But so you respond to your clients, but you have to have boundaries. It's good boundaries. I tell people that I'm more of a morning person than a night person, and I choose not to take phone calls after a certain hour. And I have to say I'm sorry, but there are people with alcohol problems. And I taught all
I
my
understand.
agents that work for me that if you avoid taking calls after 7 o'clock, you're probably going to miss a lot of alcoholic rants. And that's okay. So I'm telling you, I teach the practical to the theoretical. I'm talking about every little thing about keeping a balanced life as a realtor. I went away 30 days to Europe last summer.
Nice.
And you
What do you do on social media? I've got to know
Okay.
because I want to talk, because we're so out of time, but I want to keep talking a little
We
bit
could have a
past.
part two.
We should have a part two, but
Okay.
talk about social media because that is such a giant presence right now. And everybody's using it. I teach a class and a course on what not to do because I think there are so many things that people are doing that are really, really bad. But I'm teaching it from this overall social media perspective. What do you do? What do you encourage real estate professionals to do on social media, if anything? And then what should they do? Returning phone calls, I hear, is a big issue too.
Okay, so social media. Anybody that says Facebook's a waste of time, you can just forget what I'm about to tell you because Facebook keeps me connected with my customers. So here is what Barbara's rule of real estate for social media is. Be interested, not interesting.
Oh, I like that.
So I do very little posting about bragging on me or trying to teach a moment or whatever. But I do spend a lot of time going through all of my posts, which takes me sometimes my customers' posts because I friend all my customers and past clients, okay? So when one of my past clients said, "Oh my God, I'm sick, I'm deadly sick," do you know what I did? I went to 2J's, bought a quart of matzo ball soup.
I mean, the best
and
ever.
brought it over to her home. Okay?
Of course you did.
Right.
That's how you utilize social media, though. You keep in touch, but I
know
love
what's
that.
going on in their lives. You get deep with your clients.
Get deep with your clients. It's
Deep,
so
very
good.
deep.
That's so
and
good.
I care about them. I do. And it's not fake. I really care
That's why
about them.
I love
It's a-
live because you can't fake that. I know
No.
you. I know you care about your clients.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that before, but it's so cool for people to watch because you can't make that up. You're talking from the heart, and people can hear it. This is the thing that you want. I want a realtor who feels about me the way Barbara feels about her borrowers and sellers, her buyers and sellers. That's so important. Don't you want somebody when you're making this giant decision to have somebody who bring you matzo ball soup? I mean, it's paying attention to what you're doing. This is where you're going to elevate yourselves above what's going on in the market. You're going to be able to go, okay, so all this crap is going on, this insanity, bad, good, or indifferent, wherever your beliefs are. Then you have to come over it. You have to figure out how to be above it.
That's it.
And bringing matzo ball soup sounds like a simple little thing, but you're paying attention to what's going on with them, and you're treating them. I love whatever that quote was earlier, but they are important to you, and they feel it. You just don't speak it, you act on it. And
Right.
so I love that.
Exactly.
Absolutely love that.
Exactly.
All right, so we have a lot. We're going to have to do a part 2 because they're going
I
to start
love it.
coming in for the expo.
Yeah, I love
So we're going to share all of Barbara's contact information. Look, she's a wealth of knowledge and open and accessible. If she's had to deal with me and Derek on Facebook Messenger, God bless her, she is open and accessible to you. So why not reach out? She's got a wealth of information, a ton of knowledge, great experience, and a great attitude, because we all need to figure out our best practices. And if we go along with Barbara's best practices, I think we're going to be in a better place. All right, so you mentioned a mentor earlier, but we love to talk about mentors. I think it's so important. If you're in the real estate world or the mortgage world or wherever you're at, and you are not mentoring someone, you're not trying to take somebody in under your wing who you know has talent and you can help them, then I think you're missing out. So talk about some people that were mentors to you.
Okay, starting with, I already mentioned Terry Ferrara,
Which is awesome.
right? Retired now, but Bernie Dalton. Bernie Dalton had a small real estate office in Sand Lake Hills. And I went to work for him because I wanted to get back into real estate. This was after my ex-husband was over the cancer, and I wanted to get back into real estate. And he had me shadow him. He sat down and taught me how to write a proper contract. Yes, sir.
Which is missing in our world, by the way.
And he came with me to negotiate my first sale, and he launched me. And he just loved working with me. And I'll tell you what, he fed me buyers. And I can't tell you that, don't think about, if you're new and watching this, don't pick a real estate company for the split you're getting. Because if you've got a big split, that means the broker's not going to have time for you. Okay?
Yeah,
if you
yes.
find a small shop talk to a lot of owners, find one that resonates with you, you know? And then let them guide you, because what happened with those agents that started with me is that as they went out on their own, when they didn't need me anymore, they got a bump in their rate and their split, and they went up, 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 up. And when I sold my company, you all don't know this part of it, but so in 1996, I sold my Vance Realty. I started it in 96 and I sold it in 2006, sorry. 10 years. And I will tell you, I sold it for a 7-figure number. I started bootstrapping. I had $5,000 in my bank account when I started my company. Nobody lent me any money. I worked out of my apartment. First thing I did.
You know what was great about what you did? You don't know this, but you might know this, but I used to own insurance agencies, and I started my insurance agency in 94-ish, and you were so good to me. You used to send me homeowner leads to close, and you were so good to me back then because you're spreading the love, right? So if you find somebody who's kind of along the same line, they got to take care of your clients like their family, like you're treating them. So when you make referrals, be super careful how you make those referrals, because that is going to be a 100% reflection on you. And you were so good to me. You treated me so well, and I appreciate that. Because I started around 94, and so 96 I was finally feeling my oats, and we went all in on the homeowners market, and I started hitting up real estate offices, and you were amazing. I was in the Conway, Curry, Ford area.
Right.
All right, so that was about 2 mentors. Anybody else?
Okay, well, following that, for business mentoring, Anil Deshpande, founder of Park Square Homes, and he ended up selling his shares of that to the other partner and went off on his own. And he is still my mentor. I will not make a major business decision without talking.
Isn't that wonderful to have someone? You know, there's so many people out there who don't have that person, or they're listening to the naysayers that they surround themselves with. And I keep trying to encourage people that just because they're in your circle, they're not just because they're in your circle doesn't mean they're in your corner. So you have to find those people who want to lift you up but will still tell you the truth. You have to have a good mix of that. And what she's saying is Barbara, who's a very experienced businesswoman, obviously, she still has someone that she runs things by. How awesome is that to have that in your life?
And yeah, you want to surround yourself with people better than you.
You do.
Right? So my last mentor, and I have his book, I'm going to do a shameful plug, is Brian Carruthers. He wrote the book called Untrapped, Freedom Manifesto, Why to Be an Entrepreneur and Not Work a 9-to-5 job. And it's already a bestseller, and he's my friend and mentor. I'm very, very lucky to know this man.
Oh, that's a blessing.
And I am very excited. I will tell you, there's more to talk about. We as realtors,
we're gonna have part two.
I'll give you a teaser. To remain relevant to our clients, we have to provide even more services than real estate. We have to give them related services.
Yes.
So what I started to do years ago was I started listing. I had my own list of excellent vendors, and I said to my customers, if you call this vendor and tell them that Barbara Vance sent you,
yep,
I'm not getting any kickback. All I want is for him to give you a great value and do a great job. And if he doesn't do a good job, you're going to call me and let me know.
Because don't you want your clients, I call them clients, whatever, your customers, I want to be their point of reference for everything.
I want them to call me for their doctors.
I do too.
I want them to call me for everything.
I have people that call me for their doctors.
Right.
I want you to call me. Hey Ted, I had one today. Hey Ted, do you know an XYZ service? I won't mention it because it'll give it away. And I was like, I do. I have 3 of them. Who do you want to know? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? I want to be that person, which is what Barbara's talking about.
I want them
it's
to
so
call
important.
me. People are calling me and said, Barbara, I was about to do a refi with this one company. I'm not going to mention who. And I said, no, stay away from that company. I've got better people for you.
I like better people.
They're reaching out to me.
Yes, that's what
because
you want,
I'm
right?
relevant to them. Okay?
You're relevant.
And that's really important. So I'm providing other services, and that'll be the next time we talk.
Okay, part 2.
Part 2, because I have 2 other businesses that go with real estate, because what I want is to stay tight with the real estate people I have. I don't want to have to keep looking for 500 new customers.
Nope.
So I want to create more value for them and be able to make money on other
I love it.
ancillary businesses.
Barbara Vance, you were amazing.
Thank you.
Give her a
Can I
shout
give you a
out.
hug?
Yes. Oh my God.
I loved
She's
it.
awesome.
Thank
She's
you.
the best. Reach out to her.
Yes.
Reach out to me if you want to reach out to her. Please, she's accessible. This is who she is. So we're going to get out of here before the expo starts. We love you guys.
Everybody.
Come to the expo 3 to 7. It's free. Citrus Club. We love you guys. See you soon.
Bye.